Let me ask you something fascinating. Have you ever looked up at the stars and wondered, who created all this? The mountains, the rivers, the sky, the endless galaxies. Where did it all come from? Every religion and philosophy tries to answer this question. Some say a God created it. Some say it formed itself. Some say we'll never know. But what do the Buddhists say? Did he believe someone created the universe? Or did he see the truth from a completely different angle? In this video, we'll explore a profound Buddhist story, a conversation where someone asked the Buddha directly, who created this universe? The Buddha's answer will surprise you, because instead of explaining where the universe came from, he explained how understanding it can set you free from suffering. Stay with me till the end, because this story doesn't just talk about creation, it reveals how to live peacefully in the present universe we already have. 1. The question that everyone wants to know. More than 2,500 years ago, when the Buddha walked through the villages of India, people asked him many questions about suffering, death, karma, heaven, and life after death. But one question came again and again. Who created this world? One day, a man named Malankiyaputta, also known as Malankiyaputta in the ancient texts, a learned monk who had recently retired from worldly life, went to the Buddha at Jetavana Monastery and said, "Master, I have some doubts. Tell me, is the universe eternal? Where did it begin? Is it finite, or does it extend forever? Who created it? Is the soul the same as the body, or different? Where does the soul come from? Where does it go after death? Does an enlightened one exist after death, or cease to exist?" These were part of what would become known as the 10 undeclared questions, sometimes expanded to 14 in later traditions. He said, "Unless you answer these questions, I cannot continue my practice. I may even give up my training and return to the lay life." The Buddha looked at him quietly for a moment, smiled gently, and said something that changed the monk's life forever. 2. The parable of the poisoned arrow. The Buddha said, "Malankiyaputta, imagine a man is shot with an arrow thickly smeared with poison. His friends and relatives run to bring a surgeon to treat him. But the man says, 'Wait, I will not let the surgeon remove this arrow until I know who shot it, whether he was a noble warrior, a Brahmin, a merchant, or a worker. I will not let him remove it until I know his name and his clan. I will not let him remove it until I know whether he was tall, short, or of medium height. I will not let him remove it until I know whether he was dark-skinned, brown, or golden-skinned. I will not let him remove it until I know whether he lives in a village, a town, or a city. I will not let him remove it until I know whether the bow was a long bow or a crossbow. I will not let him remove it until I know what the bowstring was made of, fiber, bamboo threads, sinew, hemp, or bark. I will not let him remove it until I know what kind of feathers were on the arrow, those of a vulture, a stork, a hawk, a peacock, or some other bird." The Buddha paused and continued, "Before all those questions are answered, the man would die from the poison. In the same way, Malankiyaputta, if you waste your life asking who created the universe, whether it is eternal or not eternal, finite or infinite, where the soul comes from, or what happens after death, you miss the real question. How can I remove the arrow of suffering from my own heart? Whether you hold the view that the world is eternal or not eternal, there is still birth, old age, sickness, and death. There is still sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair. It is the ending of these that I teach." The Buddha smiled softly. "It does not matter who made the world. What matters is, are you free in it?" 3. The Buddha's silence was his wisdom. Many people misunderstood the Buddha's silence. They thought he avoided the question because he didn't know the answer. But his silence wasn't ignorance. It was profound clarity. The Buddha once compared his knowledge to the leaves in a forest. He took a handful of leaves and asked his disciples, "Which are greater in number, these leaves in my hand, or all the leaves in the entire forest?" "The leaves in the forest, Lord," they replied. In the same way, the Buddha said, "What I know is like the leaves in the forest, but what I teach you is only like the handful of leaves in my hand, because only this much is necessary for your liberation." He saw that arguing about creation distracts people from the real problem: suffering, attachment, and ignorance. The Buddha's mission was not to explain how the universe began. It was to show how to stop suffering within it. He once said, "Whether the universe is eternal or not eternal, whether it is finite or infinite, there is still birth, old age, sorrow, and death. I teach the way to end them." So the Buddha shifted the focus from cosmic curiosity to personal awakening. This is what made him different from the philosophers and theologians of his time. While others debated endlessly, he offered a path to freedom. For what the Buddha actually taught about the universe. Even though the Buddha never gave a definite creator theory, he shared deep insights into how the universe functions. He said the world arises and passes away through causes and conditions. Everything depends on something else to exist. When conditions come together, things appear. When those conditions fade, things disappear. This principle is called dependent origination. Paikasamuppada in Pali, Pradityasamuppada in Sanskrit. The Buddha considered this teaching so profound that he said, "Whoever sees dependent origination sees the Dhamma. Whoever sees the Dhamma sees dependent origination." This is not random causation. It is a precise, natural law that operates whether anyone discovers it or not. The Buddha called it the stability of the Dhamma, Dhammahitat, the regularity of the Dhamma, Dhammanayamata, and specific conditionality, Idappaccayata. Just as the law of gravity existed before Newton discovered it, dependent origination is the fundamental pattern of existence, always functioning, always present. For example, a seed becomes a plant only when it meets soil, water, and sunlight. The mind feels anger only when the conditions of desire, aversion, or resistance exist. A flame burns only when fuel, oxygen, and heat come together. Remove any one element, and the flame ceases. The universe itself, vast and infinite, keeps evolving through causes meeting other causes. No single being makes it. It unfolds naturally, like a web of energy, always changing, always flowing. This is expressed in the Buddha's famous formula. When this exists, that comes to be. With the arising of this, that arises. When this does not exist, that does not come to be. With the cessation of this, that ceases. This understanding applies not just to the external world, but to our inner experience as well. Our thoughts, emotions, and suffering all arise from conditions. 5. Why the Buddha's answer matters more than knowing who created the universe. Most people think that knowing the universe's origin will make them wise. But the Buddha pointed out, knowledge doesn't always bring peace. You can study the stars, read scriptures, and memorize theories, yet still live in anxiety, anger, and greed. The Buddha's question was different. Even if you find who created the world, will that end your suffering? Will it free you from anger, jealousy, fear, and attachment? Will it bring you peace when you face sickness, old age, and death? He wanted us to realize that peace doesn't come from cosmic answers. It comes from understanding the mind. Because your personal universe exists in your perception. If your mind is disturbed, your whole world feels painful. If your mind is calm, the same world feels beautiful. This is why the Buddha focused on what he called the Four Noble Truths. There is suffering, dukkha. There is a cause of suffering, samudaya. There is an end to suffering, nirodha. There is a path leading to the end of suffering, magga. These truths don't depend on whether the universe was created or not. They are true regardless of cosmology. 6. The universe within you. The Buddha once said to his disciple Rohittasa, "Friend, in this very body, within this fathom-long body with its perceptions and mind, I declare there is the world, the origin of the world, the cessation of the world, and the path leading to the cessation of the world." This profound statement is recorded in the Anguttara Nikaya, one of the early Buddhist texts. This means the universe you experience exists inside your mind. You don't see things as they are. You see them as your thoughts, perceptions, and mental formations paint them. When you are happy, the same sunrise feels divine. When you are angry, the same sunrise feels meaningless. When your mind is peaceful, even a simple meal becomes a sacred experience. When your mind is restless, even paradise feels like prison. So the Buddha guided people to stop seeking the Creator outside and start discovering the truth within. That's where the real universe lives, inside your awareness, your consciousness, your present moment experience. The Buddha taught that clinging to views about the cosmos, whether eternal or not eternal, finite or infinite, creates what he called a jungle of views, a wilderness of views, the agitation of views, the fetter of views. These views don't liberate us. They entangle us further. 7. The practical meaning of the Buddha's teaching. Let's turn this wisdom into simple, everyday understanding. When you ask, "Who created the universe?" your mind travels far, into the past, into the unknown, into endless speculation. But when you ask, "How can I live peacefully in this universe?" your mind becomes quiet, focused, and alive in the present moment. Buddhism teaches that curiosity without purpose can become another form of distraction, another way the mind avoids facing its own suffering. But awareness with compassion transforms your entire life. Instead of trying to control or explain the cosmos, the Buddha taught us to master the small universe of our emotions, habits, reactions, and choices. That is the real miracle. When your mind becomes calm, your entire universe becomes peaceful. When you understand your own mind, you understand the nature of all existence. When you free yourself from the arrows of greed, hatred, and delusion, you taste liberation, right here, right now, in this very life. 8. 3 deep lessons from the Buddha's reply. Lesson 1. Don't waste time on endless theories. The Buddha's teaching reminds us not to lose ourselves in questions that don't lead to liberation. Philosophical debates, arguments, and theories, they never end. There's always another question, another angle, another perspective to consider. But your time here does. The Buddha mentioned in his teachings about the 4 imponderables, asantya, things that if pondered excessively will drive one to madness. The Buddha range of the Buddhas, the jhana range of one in jhana, the precise workings of karma, speculation about the origin of the cosmos. So instead of asking, "Who made the world?" ask, "How can I make my heart pure?" Instead of wondering about the infinite past, focus on this precious present moment. Lesson 2. Focus on removing the arrow. Like the man in the story, we all carry the arrow of pain, anger, jealousy, loneliness, fear, craving, aversion. These 3 poisons, greed, hatred, and delusion, are sometimes compared to the poisoned arrow itself. Don't wait for perfect answers before healing. Don't say, "I'll start practicing when I understand everything." Start with mindfulness, compassion, and right action. That's how you pull the arrow out. The Buddha taught the Noble Eightfold Path as the practical method. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. This is the medicine. This is a surgeon's hand. This is what removes the arrow. Lesson 3. Find truth in direct experience. The Buddha taught that truth is not something to believe. It's something to experience directly. He famously said, "Come and see, Ahapasiko." Don't just believe my words, verify them through your own practice. When you meditate, when you observe your breath, when you watch thoughts arise and pass away, when you see impermanence directly in your own body and mind, you understand the nature of life. That understanding is deeper than any theory about creation. It's not intellectual knowledge. It's wisdom born from direct seeing. The Buddha encouraged his followers, "Be a lamp unto yourselves. Work out your own salvation with diligence." 9. How to apply this wisdom in daily life. Let's bring the Buddha's teaching into your everyday world. Here are 5 practical steps to live with peace and clarity. 1. Start with awareness. Each morning, take a few minutes to sit in silence. Notice your breath, your surroundings, your thoughts. Say silently, "This is my universe right now." It reminds you that your peace doesn't depend on cosmic mysteries. It depends on your awareness in this moment. Feel your body breathing. Notice sensations. Observe the mind without judgment. This simple practice grounds you in reality, not in speculation. 2. Reduce mental noise. Your mind creates its own universe every second, full of worry, regret, expectation, and endless commentary. To calm it, reduce unnecessary input. Spend less time arguing online or chasing constant information. Limit exposure to news that agitates without informing. Create space for silence, for reflection, for simply being. A quiet mind perceives truth more clearly than a noisy one. The Buddha taught about papanka, mental proliferation, the mind's tendency to complicate and elaborate endlessly. When you reduce this proliferation, peace naturally emerges. 3. Accept what you can't control. The Buddha taught the 3 characteristics of existence. Impermanence, anicca, everything changes. Suffering/unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, clinging causes pain. Non-self, anatta, there is no permanent, independent self. You can't control the beginning of the universe or the future of it. You can't stop time, prevent aging, or avoid death. But you can control your actions in this moment. You can choose kindness over anger, patience over reactivity, wisdom over ignorance. Let go of what you can't influence, and peace will follow. This acceptance isn't resignation, it's wisdom. 4. Be grateful for existence itself. Instead of wondering who created life, marvel that you are alive. Feel gratitude for breath, sunlight, kindness, and awareness. Gratitude, is the purest form of worship. It connects you directly with the miracle of being. Every breath is a gift. Every moment of consciousness is extraordinary. The fact that conditions have come together for you to exist, this very human life, with its potential for awakening, is incredibly rare. The Buddha taught that human birth is precious, as rare as a blind turtle surfacing once every 100 years, happening to put its head through a wooden yoke floating on the ocean. Don't waste this rare opportunity on endless speculation. Use it for awakening. 5. Live with compassion. No matter who or what made this universe, suffering is real for everyone. The Buddha said, "All tremble at violence, all fear death." Comparing others with oneself, one should neither kill nor cause to kill. Every being wants to be happy and free from suffering, just like you. Be gentle, be kind, speak truthfully but with care. Help where you can. Harm as little as possible. Your compassion becomes your offering to the universe itself. When you practice loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, sympathetic joy, mudita, and equanimity, upekkha, the 4 divine abodes, you align yourself with the deepest harmony of existence. 10. The Buddha's vision of reality. When the Buddha reached enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya, he didn't see a creator sitting on a throne. He didn't receive a revelation from an external deity. He saw interconnectedness, everything linked in perfect balance, a vast web of causation where nothing exists independently. Every breath depends on the trees producing oxygen. Every tree depends on the sun, rain, soil, and countless microorganisms. Every person depends on their parents, food, society, and countless causes and beings to exist. You are not a separate, isolated entity. You are a process, a flow, a temporary gathering of elements that will one day disperse. That understanding filled him with boundless compassion, because he saw that hurting others is the same as hurting yourself. When you understand interdependence deeply, selfish craving naturally weakens. How can you harm another when you see that they are not truly separate from you? So the Buddha's answer to creation was not a name. It was wisdom through the vision of unity and interconnection. The universe isn't a finished product made by someone. It's a living process, always unfolding, moment by moment. And in that process, you are not separate. You are a part of it, intimately woven into the fabric of existence. 11. Seeing the Creator in everything. The Buddha never denied the sacred. He just removed the separation. He said, "The divine is not far away. It's in your breath, your awareness, your compassion. When you see with awakened eyes, you realize. The Creator is not someone who made the river. The flowing itself is divine. The Creator is not outside the tree. The growing, the greening, the reaching toward light itself is divine. The Creator is not separate from you. The seeing, the knowing, the awareness itself is divine. Every moment becomes holy when you are fully present in it. That's why Buddhists don't worship a distant God. They awaken to the sacred in the here and now. In Zen Buddhism, there's a saying, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The actions are the same, but the awareness transforms everything. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. 12. The real answer lies in silence. After the conversation with Malunkyaputta, the monk bowed deeply. He realized that chasing cosmic answers was like chasing clouds. You can run forever and never catch them. He began to meditate with new understanding, focusing not on who made the world, but on how to live peacefully in it, how to free his mind from suffering. Over time, through dedicated practice, his mind became clear and still, like a mountain lake on a windless day. In that silence, he found something greater than an answer. He found awakening. He directly experienced the cessation of craving, the end of becoming, the peace beyond all concepts. The Buddha often said, "Silence is the answer to questions the mind cannot understand." Because the mind asks, "Who made this? Why am I here? What happens after death?" But the heart feels, "I am part of this great mystery. I am the universe experiencing itself." That realization is enlightenment. Words point at truth, but they cannot contain it. Concepts describe reality, but they cannot capture it. Sometimes the deepest wisdom is simply to be fully present, fully aware, fully alive. 13. The universe as a mirror. The universe you see reflects your state of mind. When your thoughts are cloudy with anger, greed, and confusion, the world appears dark, threatening, unsatisfying. When your heart is open and your mind is clear, the same world feels full of light, wonder, and possibility. There's a Buddhist teaching: with our thoughts we make the world. So instead of trying to solve the mystery of creation, use every moment to polish your inner mirror. Through meditation, you remove the dust of ignorance. Through ethical conduct, you remove the stains of harmful actions. Through kindness, you remove the scratches of hatred. Through mindfulness, you see more clearly what is actually there, rather than your projections and interpretations. And then you realize the universe isn't something you look at from the outside. It's something you are, something you participate in, something you co-create through your perceptions, intentions, and actions. That's what the Buddha meant when he said, "He who sees the Dhamma, the truth, the teaching, rightly sees the world." When you understand the Dhamma, you see that the world and the Dhamma are not separate. The truth of impermanence, suffering, and non-self isn't just a teaching. It's the actual nature of all phenomena. 14. The path beyond questions. At some point on the spiritual path, you stop asking why and start living how. Not "why was I born?" but "how can I live wisely?" Not "why is there suffering?" but "how can I respond to suffering with compassion?" Not "why does the universe exist?" but "how can I walk through it without causing harm?" These how questions transform life. Because when you walk this path, you don't need to know who created the world. You become part of its beauty, its healing, its awakening through awareness and compassion. That's when you stop searching for truth outside and start embodying it inside. You become a living expression of the Dhamma. Your life becomes the answer to questions words cannot express. The Buddha taught that there are 4 kinds of questions. Questions that deserve a direct answer. Questions that deserve an analytical answer. Questions that deserve a counter-question. Questions that should be set aside. The questions about who created the universe fall into the 4th category, not because they're unimportant, but because answering them doesn't lead to liberation. What leads to liberation is practice, consistent, sincere, devoted practice of the path. Meditation, ethical living, wisdom, compassion. This is the way forward. Not speculation, but transformation. Not theories, but realization. Not belief, but direct seeing. Thank you for watching this video on BodhiRipple. I hope this story and teaching helped you see that some questions don't need answers. They need understanding. The Buddha showed us that instead of asking who created the universe, we can focus on how to awaken within it. The 10 unanswerable questions, or in some traditions, the 14, were not avoided because the Buddha lacked knowledge, but because he possessed profound wisdom about what truly matters for liberation. If you found peace or clarity from this message, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear how these teachings resonate with your own journey, and subscribe to BodhiRipple for more teachings that bring calm, wisdom, and balance to your life. And don't stop here. Watch our other Buddhist stories and teachings to discover how simple awareness can change your entire world, how ancient wisdom applies to modern challenges, and how you can walk the path toward freedom. Until next time, remember, you don't have to find the Creator to live a sacred life. When your mind becomes still, the universe reveals itself through you. As the Buddha taught, the path is yours to walk. No one else can walk it for you. May you walk it with wisdom, compassion, and peace.